Hello, Shahab. Such a pleasure to have you. It's fantastic that you signed up for the summit. It's called Pet Industry Rising, as you know, and I'm especially glad to have you because you have actually, for me, you have an incredible project at hand. And yes, feel free to introduce yourself to the industry.
Yes, sure. Thank you, Peggy, for reaching out and inviting me. So my name is Shahab, and I'm based in Berlin. I'm originally Iranian. I came in Germany in 2018, and I'm system engineer by training, system and industrial engineer by training. Yeah, so I had my first company in the consulting area, in the consulting field for 8-9 years, and I worked for many companies, also consulting mostly. And yeah, I came up with the idea for my second company around 3 years ago, when I just noticed the gap in the veterinary diagnostic. Yeah, I noticed that I'm able to do something. So let's tackle this gap of technology with a product for early cancer detection.
Yes, so you really have entrepreneurial spirit, right? So if that is your second company already. So you said you detected a gap in the veterinary diagnostics field. So how did you detect the gap, and how did you get to detect that gap?
So as an industrial engineer, I always have my eyes open. As a consultant, especially, you need to always be on top of all technologies, you know.
Absolutely. Yeah, I know.
So I knew that there is the veterinary industry is in disadvantage compared to human medicine. So in human medicine, we have a lot of technologies, we have a lot of progress, lots of research is being done. So comparatively, that type of investment and that type of advancement is lacking still in the veterinary. Yeah.
So you were saying because don't you think there is a lot of trickle over from the human industry to the vet industry?
Yeah, that is, and that's happening right now. It's this is happening more and more. So there is a trend to attend more to the veterinary diagnostics and veterinary medicine. So I think the trend is to develop more drugs, to develop more tools for veterinary. So the attention is the focus is increasing. So yeah, that's a good generally.
Yeah, and that's of course driven by the humanization of the pet, right? So that we have
Exactly.
the humanization of the pet. I mean, I've been in this industry for a long time, and I act as an expert for decision taking for entrepreneurs. So I'm in the consulting space as well, mentoring. I would call it mentoring more because I advise on expert decisions and on growth. So when I'm talking to you now, you are going to actually help the vet industry to grow as well, right? Because, and now we have to kind of lift the secret here. Tell us what you developed.
Yeah, so at the moment we started with dogs first of all, and we started with cancer. So so this combination is important because cancer is the #1 killer in dogs, and dogs is the major pets and the lovely pets adopted by humans, and they also cost more from the financial. When you start a company, you also need to take a peek at the market demand, right? So also from the market perspective, it started with it makes sense that we started with the dogs. So we started a early cancer detection blood test for dogs.
Okay, so how does your early cancer detection blood test compare to current blood tests, which kind of try to diagnose cancer? Because there's something out there already, right?
There for the human, there are some tools in the human. There are some blood tests for human which are being used as diagnostic tool, but there is no comprehensive.
You have tumor markers, right? In human medicine.
Yes. But what is lacking in the veterinary diagnostic is a comprehensive test that can detect multiple cancers with one blood test. So
okay, so it's non-invasive actually. Oh, I mean, it's very little invasive. So you do one blood test. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So how many varieties of cancer could you potentially detect? Do you know already?
So potentially it can detect all types of cancer.
Wow.
So we might need to add some other liquids other than blood, but by liquid biopsy we talk about blood, but we also talk about saliva, and we talk about also urine. But potentially with blood tests you can detect all types of cancer, because all the tumors, the tumor is spread through blood, through so that's the best way to track it, through the stream and the way that they actually spread themselves.
Yes, I was reading about your company obviously a bit. So you do detect it, I think, in the cell, when the cell basically, how would you say that? So you have a DNA related test, right?
Yes, that's exactly. So when the tumor, so when the cells die, they release their DNA into the blood.
That's how it worked. Yeah, I read about it. Exactly.
And tumor cells also do that. So actually the turnover by tumor cells is higher. So they die more, and they grow more, they generate more, so the turnover is generally higher by tumor cells. So that's also a useful feature when you want to do early detection, because you can find them more in the blood.
Amazing. So do you have a go-to-market model already?
So our go-to-market is B2B. So we are going to sell our diagnostic test to veterinarians, and they can use this as part of their diagnostic practice. So it helps them to reach a better diagnostic decision faster and more informed. Yeah.
Earlier. So what time, where does the laboratory come in? Because typically, right, a vet is going to take a blood sample and then it sends it to a laboratory like IDEX, or in the case of Germany, Laboclin. So where do those guys come in?
At the moment, we have, there should be a lab that does the sequencing. So we need some special machinery, special technology in the lab. So there should be a lab which, when we start, probably we will be the lab ourselves.
Okay.
So every lab that's going to overtake it, if they want to do the lab test them by themselves, they need to have these equipments. Alternative is that the IDEX or Laboclin or other companies, they sell the test kit. So because we have a special kit, so they can test the kit, and automatically when the blood is taken, it can be done by a third-party lab service.
I see. So by a specialized lab.
Yeah, specialized lab. Yeah.
So tell me today, if especially if people are going to see this, I'm sure it's going to have a lot of interest in the industry because it's spectacular. So what do people do who now know about you? Can we have that test done already, or is that very much in its baby steps yet?
Yeah. So we have at the moment a pre-launch of one of our tests, because we have two tests. One is a light version, and the other one is heavy duty, and can classify the tumor types. So the first one, we have a pre-launch of the first one, the light one, for veterinaries especially those who are located in Europe.
Yes.
Then they can try the test. Yes.
I see. So how do veterinarians know that you have that test, and how do you sell that test to veterinarians? How do you make that happen?
So we will start with some marketing campaigns. So we have not started yet because we are in the pre-launch. We like a limited number of clinics first, try or test, and we get the feedback, and we improve that. But we don't actively market our products at the moment. But we will do that after or fundraising. We are at the moment in the fundraising phase. So after the fundraising and after this first validation is finished, then we will actively market the products.
Yes. Do you have a lot of interest of investors?
We are talking to different angel investors and VCs at the moment. Yes.
Yeah. So that's exciting.
The conversation is going. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. So how big is your team?
So at the moment, so officially we are a founded company. So we are GmbH, so equal to limited company. Yeah. So officially, I am at the moment the single founder, working with 2 potential co-founders and a team of developers, which are working as part of like a student job. So it's a freelance mode. So that's the structure at the moment. Yeah.
Nice. That's very good. So your vision in the future. So once you have this test launched and it's out there, what's the next step for you? Where do you think this industry needs you to help next?
Yeah, so it can go very several directions, either one by one or parallel. So it can we can translate some part of the technology, if possible, for human. We can go towards developing other tests for cats, and maybe for horses. So we can expand the disease coverage. So it shouldn't be cancer. It can be infectious diseases or viral diseases. So it can be, yeah.
How did you come up with this, Shahab? I mean, how is it possible that you can actually detect a tumor in the blood?
When the markers, the first signs of the tumors can be found in the blood, because the tumors, when they die, they release their DNA.
Mm-hmm.
They release their DNA, and also the dead cells. The dead cells, you can find the dead cells, and also the tumors of the DNA of the tumors in the blood.
I see. So is that like the same thing as a tumor marker they would take from a human?
Yes, it is like a tumor marker. But the advantage for us is that since we use AI, we use machine learning, we can use a complex profile of biomarkers. So it shouldn't be a limited number of biomarkers. So we can look simultaneously at hundreds of biomarkers. So potentially.
Wow. Okay. So AI plays a huge role in this.
Machine learning definitely can play a huge role in this. Yes. Yeah. When it comes to complexity of data, machine learning always helps. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So when did you start integrating AI from day one, or did you start a bit later? What's your?
Yeah, from day one we started with AI from the day one. Yeah, that was actually one of the ideas, because that was also one of the limitations in the diagnostic, because they always look at a limited number of biomarkers. And when it comes to cancer, biomarkers are tricky. So it's very difficult. They change all the time. The tumors change and the mutations change. So it's really tricky. And we are also in the start of this journey, of course. But I think with AI and machine learning, it enables us to to detect more complicated patterns and look at different biomarkers and even maybe discover new biomarkers
Yes.
for different types of tumors. Yeah.
That's super exciting. So Shahab, AI is one part. So what excites you about this journey? What is the most exciting part of this entrepreneurial journey you're taking at the moment?
I think the most exciting part is to see the disease before it hits, every kind of disease, to check it early. So it doesn't matter what kind of disease it is. So cancer is definitely the most important one, but also other diseases. So especially cancer, it's really exciting how early we are able to detect it. So our goal is that to detect the tumors as early as possible. And this is a big challenge, but we are at the moment focusing on that.
Very nice. So why did you choose Berlin? Is it like a startup hub? I know that in Berlin you have a lot of startups and a lot of things.
Well, if you're in Germany, then Berlin is probably the best choice when you want to do a startup, especially in a market like this, which is pet industry. So their population matters, and also the universities. There are lots of universities, relevant universities in the area. So it's the startup culture also is very overwhelming here.
Yes, that's great. So how is your connection with the vet industry or the vet community, I would say? Do you work with a lot of vets, or how do they play a role?
So we don't have we don't market actively at the moment. So we are connected to 40, 50 practices and clinics in Germany, which proactively likes to work with us and send us blood samples and so on. So we haven't used this network for selling a lot. We use this network mostly for clinical studies and development of our products.
Right. Very interesting, Shahab. Very interesting. So where do you think the journey is going with in the industry when you talk about AI? If I look at what you're doing now using AI, what role will it play, especially in this industry?
In diagnostics and generally in medicine, I think it's one of the most influential
drivers.
One of the most impactful results that AI can have is definitely in medicine and in diagnostic.
Because of the complexity of data and right?
Yes, exactly. When it comes to discover, yes, it can consume a huge amount of data and it can give new insights. But from others' hand, also the generative AI. With the generative AI, you can also generate new models. You can generate new therapies and medications, so also drugs in the drug development also. And also in research generally, it can help with generating ideas. So I think it's a little bit early to mention that as a big support for research, scientific research, but I think in near future it also would be one of the huge enablers of scientific discoveries. Yes.
Very exciting. So tell us what your webpage is called, so people who are curious about your company can look it up.
Yeah, so our webpage is www.testblu.de. So blue without E at the end. So cool. So it's at the moment it's only in German because we still in a startup mode. But the English version will be also online in near future. Yeah.
Very nice. Thank you so much, Shahab, for your time. It was a real pleasure, and it's super interesting. All the best on your journey, because you're really adding not only something, it's not only a cool story. It's really you're adding life to someone who really is close to the heart of our people, and that's their dogs, right? So good luck in that journey. And yeah, we're grateful for people like you,
Yeah,
because
thank you.
you're adding something to this industry which is sensational. And you know, while everybody out there is talking about longevity, that's definitely one of the factors you're helping with here.
Yeah, definitely. And this at the end is also improves the quality of life of the dogs,
Of the
and
dogs, yeah.
the lifespan of the pets. Yeah.
Yes, and their people, right?
And the people eventually, of course.
Yes. Thank you so much, Shahab. I wish you all the best.
I thank you.
We'll be in touch for sure.
Yes, thank you.
Take care.
Bye bye. You
Bye.
too.